नमस्कार। आज की सीरीज 2 को आगे बढ़ाते हुए हम नई चीजों के बारे में बात करेंगे। क्या डू यू नो there are many sellers who display many things like once goods sold will not be taken back, or no exchange, or no refund under any circumstances. This amounts to be unfair trade practice and does not carry any legal weight. If thus things are defective and you want to change it, the seller cannot deny it. And if you don't have the similar type of product or the same quality product, he has to give a refund. There are certain restrictive trade practices. What are those? Restrictive trade practice means a trade practice which tends to bring about malfunctioning of price or conditions of delivery or effect flow of supplies in the market related to goods or services in such a manner as to impose on consumers unsatisfied cost and restrictions, which shall include: number one, delay beyond the period agreed to be to by a trader in supply of such goods or in providing the services which has led or likely to lead him to risk in the price. Number two, any trade practice which requires a consumer to buy, hire, or avail of any goods, or, as the case may be, services and condition precedes to buy, hiring, or availing such goods or in services. What are the rights guaranteed under Consumer Protection Act? There are certain rights with rights guaranteed under Consumer Protection Act. The Consumer Protection Act guarantees the following consumer rights. Number one, right of safety. The right to be protected against marketing of goods and services which are hazardous in life and property. Right to be informed. The right to be informed about the quality, quantity, potency, purity, standard, and price of goods or services, as the case may be, so as to protect the consumer against unfair trade practices. Right to choose. The right to choose is a right that consumer the right to assure whatever possible access a variety of goods and services at competitive price. Suppose you want to buy a car, you have got a right to choose it between other models or other variants. That is right to choose. Right to be heard. The right to be heard and to be assured that consumer interest will receive and due consideration at appropriate commission. The consumer can file a case in the appropriate commission and he has got a right to be heard, and receive due consideration, right of redressal, right of redressal, the right to seek redressed against unfair trade practice or restrictive trade practices or un- where consumer can be exploited. What is Consumer Protection Act 1986? In 1986, the Indian Parliament passed a landmark Consumer Protection Act, which is milestone in the history of social economic legislation and directed towards achieving public welfare by enabling the consumer to prepare directly in the market. The Consumer Protection Act 1986 was very unique piece of social welfare legislation. The act was and enacted by objective to provide better protection of the interest of the consumer. It was intended to provide effective and efficient safeguard to consumer against various forms of forms and unfair dealings. The act was enacted with objective to provide better protection to the interest of the consumers. It applies to all goods and services and covers all sector, public, private, and cooperatives. The Consumer Protection Act is a weapon in the hands of consumer to fight against exploitation by traders, manufacturers, and sellers on one hand, and providers of services on the other hand. It provides redress to grievances of the consumer and makes provisions for establishments of consumers, councils, and other judicial authorities for establishment of consumer disputes. It provides for simple, speedy, inexpensive access to redress consumer grievance and provides the granting compensation to the consumers for the inconvenience suffered. The Act has been amended in 1991, 1993, and 2002 and keep pace with the time and to provide more teeth. And the third amendment was brought distracted change in the Act as per the Consumer Protection Act 1986. A complaint can be filed at the district consumer redressal form if the value of the claim is up to 20 lakhs. State Consumer Redressal Commission if the value of the claim exceeds 20 lakhs but within 1 crore. National Consumer Dispute Redressal Commission the value of a claim should exceed 1 crore. Like that, now the new act has come into power and we will be later in another episode we will be discussing about it. The consumer rights under the Act 86 are the right to safety, right to be informed, right to choose, right to be heard, right to seek redressal, right to consumer education. And there was another act which was passed in 2019. That is the most effective act. And in the next episode, we will be discussing about it. If you like our episode, please like, share, comment, and don't forget to subscribe our channel. Thank you.